let's write the design together. Okay, so it's better if we start a new application, at least for this one. Uh, okay, let's start a new file. Okay, no, it's better to start a new application. Okay, so new project and console application, .NET framework. Okay, not .NET Core. Yeah, give it any name, that's fine. Okay, so let's start with the classes. Okay, so the first class we have is the customer class. Okay, so to make it right, it's good to get used to writing the ID. Okay, because you can distinguish people depending on their name. You need to distinguish people depending on something that can't be duplicated. Okay, so the ID is usually the official way to distinguish people. Okay, so both people, like lots of people could be named Mike Smith, for example, but each Mike Smith has one unique ID. Okay, so for now, let's make our IDs as integer. Okay, so that's the ID. And now you also like first name, last name, whatever you want. Okay, first name. You can have also last name, for example. Okay, and any extra information. You can also have the address, like string address. And as we discussed before, the address, it's better to have the address as a class because the address itself has what city, what country, what's the postal code. So the address itself has lots of details in it. Okay. But for now, just to make it simpler, we will consider the address to be a string, then we will enhance it at a later point. So that's for the customer. So always imagine when you create a class, imagine like this person is creating a profile. Okay. Of course, there are some stuff that could be useful for a programmer, but the customer himself can't see them. Like if you have some kind of hash value or something that the user don't see. Okay, for example, the password. Okay, the password the user can see, but the password hash, this is something the user can't see. But anyways, for my customer, that's what I have. Okay, what about the order? Yeah, and of course, let's also create a constructor. Um, constructor. Okay, so when we, for example, construct um, a customer, we will say that we need the first name and we need the last name. Like this is a customer that chooses those two. So this dot first name will be the parameter of the first name. Okay, that's when you say new customer, right? And this dot last name will be the last name that you send as a parameter as well. What about the ID? So the ID could be auto incremented. That's the most common way in databases, or it can be like a random number. But after you generate this random number, you need to make sure it's not like the same ID for someone else. So usually the IDs are the job of the database. Usually the IDs are generated there, either just numbers or what we call the GUID, which is a big series of letters and numbers, just to make sure it's totally unique. Okay, so this is like a sample constructor. You can create any number of constructors as you like. Okay, what about the order? So the order The order also has an ID, okay, okay, which can be used as the order number. Or you can create the ID of the order like order number one, order number two, but it has a long number which called it's instead of the name of the ID. So it really depends on what you want, but we can have them both like string order number. Some some companies they like their order number to have letters as well. For example, Canadian Tire, they say okay CT13. Okay, they usually start with like a letter or so the order number itself could be like a series of just random numbers and letters just to identify a number for the user. Okay. What about orders? What do you have also in order? Like when I when I order something, right? First, my order will be placed, right? Then my order will be something like, oh, your order is shipped now. Then after a few days, my order will be like delivered. If in the middle of the operation I decided I no longer want this order, then my order will be cancelled. So what do you recognize here? Like there are different states.
So like order status.
Yeah. So the status of the order. But like, do you want it to be a string or can we make it something different?
Could it
We
be
can
like
make a enum.
Can we use enum like
Yeah.
earlier?
So what
Or is
about
it
making
string?
it as an enum? So what if I created an enum called order status? Okay, what are the statuses of an order? So it's like first when you start it's placed, then it's shipped, then it's delivered, then it could be cancelled. Um, do we have any other statuses? Okay, if we remembered any other one, we can add it as well. Okay, but you will see that I need to know the status of the order is extremely important. For example, can you cancel an order if it's delivered? No, because you receive the order. Maybe you can return it. Yeah, also we can have a return, for example. But if you just place the order and before it's shipped to you, you decided, oh, I no longer need this one. That's when you can cancel it. So there are rules that the order status is very important for them. Okay. Like for example, the order can't be shipped unless you pay for it. Okay, like this is one rule, for example. Okay. So in the order, you have the ID, the name, and what do you have as well? Now a new type, okay, which is no longer a string or something, is called status. Okay. Okay. What else? I can also have a number or a double, maybe total cost, right? Like, what is the total cost of your order? Like $100, $200, right? That's something also important to know for an order. Now, what's the most important thing in the order?
The item ordered.
No, there's something more important. Well, it's important, yeah, but there's something even more.
Product.
No, well, Jennifer said product, or what did you say, Jennifer?
Item ordered. It's the same.
No, not items, not products. Like there's something even more important.
Date.
Yeah, who ordered this order? Like who's the owner of this order? Okay, like it doesn't matter how many information you know about the order. If you don't know who's the customer who made the order, okay, that's like you really can't do anything. So we need also an integer, which is who is the customer who ordered this order, right? Like what is the ID of the customer who ordered this order? Now, why do we need the ID? Because when we will store them, okay, in a database, databases, they don't store objects. They don't store a customer, right? Like for your database, okay, what we will learn that database is just like a place where you store text and numbers, okay, and maybe some stuff like images, but they don't know what is a customer. This is something that you just invented in your code, right? The database system have no idea what do you mean by the word customer or what do you mean by the word order. Okay, so the database will store the ID of the customer who ordered this. So it will say, okay, the order number 3 was ordered by the customer number 4. Okay, and you know for sure that you only have one customer with the ID number 4. So you can go to the table where you stored all your customers. Okay, who is the customer with number 4? Oh, yeah, that this guy. This guy owns this order. Okay, so
How do
for
you
us,
how
yeah,
do you make those two like reference each other? Like, could you put customer.id there instead?
um, well, yeah, when we will create the order, so let's, for example, create, let's say we have only customers and orders in our database. Okay, so this is the program. This is our main workstation. This is our website. Okay, so now a customer just came to me and I'm creating a profile here. So the customer, his name is Mike, is a new customer, right? His first name is Mike and last name is Smith. Okay, that's a customer, right? Okay, Mike decided that he wants to create an order. Okay, let's create an order. Order, let's create order equals new what? Is a new order. Okay, now you can say order dot ID equals 1, order dot order number equals, okay, this series of like OR 3456. Like this is the order number. Okay, when you call customer service, you usually they will usually ask you, okay, what's your order number, and it will be this series of long random stuff. Okay, and now the status, like you just created the order, right? So what is the status of this order? Is order state dot placed, for example. You just created it, you didn't ship. Okay, now who's the owner of this order? Like this is the most important thing. Okay, who is the customer that owns this order? It should equal to the ID of who? So Mike dot ID. So whatever Mike's ID is, it will be the ID of the customer that ordered this order. So here let's say like Mike dot ID equals 1. So now what is the order dot customer ID? Okay, so here I'm just filling information. This is the user I have. This is the customer. Okay, and this is the order I have. Everything looks fine. And then, okay, who's the customer who ordered this one? What is the ID of the person who ordered this order? Okay, it's the ID of Mike. Okay, so order.customer ID will equal 1. And now you know, oh, it's the person with the ID number 1. Let's go to the table of customers or where we store customers usually. And let's look, okay, who has the ID number 1? Yeah, this guy. So now we know who ordered this order. Okay, it's just a value eventually.
So you wouldn't like hard code it like public int customer ID equals customer.id. Like you would
No,
never
well,
do.
I don't know who's the customer in this order. Like each order, Like if I said customer.id, okay, what do you mean by customer? Who is the customer? Do you have an object of customer? Like we don't have an object of customer. Like the order has an ID for a customer in it. It's there's a place to store the ID of the customer inside the order. Okay, and now after you create the order, you will say, okay, the ID is this guy's ID or this girl's ID. You don't need to initialize it here. Why would you initialize? Like, did you initialize the total cost? Did you say it's something? Like, it can be any cost. The ID can be any ID for any guy, any person.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, the more we do those, the
Did he freeze?
logical they will become.
I
Now you
think
will
Mohammed
notice
will
that, like the customer of the, sorry,
Mohammed,
yep,
you froze for like 30 seconds.
ready?
I think we're
Um,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. Like I was replying to Jennifer's question, so I thought everything was going well.
Oh no, your screen and audio froze.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jennifer, were you able to hear me?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, but okay. So what's important is to know the customer, the ID of the customer who ordered this order. Okay. Now you can also store the whole object in the order, but that won't be like totally necessary. This is what we call a navigation property, and we can live without. But the most important thing tomorrow, when I open like a report of my orders, I will see, yeah, this is my order name, this is my order status, this is the cost, and this is the number of the person who ordered this order. I need to see this. Okay. Now, you don't need to store everything in the customer here. You only need to know the ID of the customer. Once you know the ID of the customer, you will be able to know everything about the customer. Okay. Like the customer is unique for each, the ID is unique for each customer. So once you know the ID, now you can go and access all the information that you want. Okay.
Okay.
So what's the relation between order and customer? What's the relation
one too
between?
many, one too many.
It's one too many. So what we need for sure is the one part. Like this is the one part. Like an order has one customer ID. Okay, has one owner, and it can't live without it. You can't have an order without a customer ID. Now, if you want to easy access stuff, like okay, what do you want to know all the orders of a customer? Yeah, that's when you can add, you can have a list of orders, okay, inside the customer. But this is just like a thing that you need inside your code. This list won't be stored in a database. It's just for you to easy access the orders, okay, and easy populate them. But it's not necessary in terms of the like the mandatory design. In the mandatory design, you need this customer ID for sure. Okay. But this list, okay, this is just an objects thing. Okay, I want to store all the orders of the customer at some point. Okay, so let's have this. Let's have this list. But even if you don't have it, okay, that's fine. You can still, you can still manage to live without it. Okay, let's let's not write it and see how everything will go well even if we don't have it. Okay, because all what we care about is the one part, the ID of the customer who ordered the order. Okay, what about the class category? Okay, so this this is one of the easy ones. So I have the ID of the category, ID number 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I also have the name of the category. Sorry, public string. What is the name of the category? Okay. So that's for the category. That's all what I have for now. The product. Okay, what do you have in product? In product, also you have the ID of the product. Okay. You have the name of the product. Okay. What else? Do you have the cost of the product.
Great.
Sorry, what did you say?
Description.
Yeah, name and description. Yeah, that can be also added. Public string. Okay. You also need to know how many pieces of this product do you have. So like product of iPhones. We don't have unlimited iPhones in my shop, in my online
The
shop.
code that's different than ID.
Yeah, well, you need a way to distinguish products. So ID, code, yeah, maybe you need the code. Yeah, but here we are not really making an extremely like real life design. It's just to have some important property. But the code of the product also, the barcode, that also could be important. But we care about the stock more in our algorithm, because we need, like, if a customer asking for 100 pieces of iPhones, we need to make sure that we have enough stock, and then we need to decrease the stock every time someone buys. Okay. Sorry.
Should we include a category for our products?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, one important thing, like, what's the relation between category and product?
Did you say?
Yeah, we said, oh, let's make it one to many. Okay, let's say our products only have one category. So here we can say, okay, we also have what is the ID of the category that this product belongs to. Okay. So all of those will be stored in the database. Number, string, double, number, and all of them are mandatory. Like, you can't live without category ID. Otherwise, this product will be flying by itself. Like, okay, under what category this product should be. Okay. Now here, as we said, if you want for easy access, you can create a list of products. Okay. But this is just a code thing. It won't be stored anywhere in terms of databases. Okay. So the next class is the seller. Okay. For now, let's just keep it very simple. So we also have the ID and the name of the seller. Okay. And we will see the relation between sellers and products at a later point. So this class, you usually don't need it, because your whole database tomorrow will be this class. So in this class, we have a list of customers. Okay, soon we will see how this will be not very important. We also have a list of orders, products, categories, sellers, like a list of everything. Okay. We also have a list of categories. Oh. Okay, we have a list of products. We have a list of sellers. Okay, this is our whole thing, like where I store all my customers, all my orders. Okay, which is in real life my whole database. But we need it because if you remember what Millie asked, like she said, if I want to know what is the best exam, then I need to have a list of all exams, right? And that's where we are storing them. Okay, now one of the very important relations is the relation between order and product. Like that's like the most important relation. So we said it's many to many. So we need a third class to put all those extra stuff. So order or product order. Okay, like it doesn't matter what you name it, order product or product order. It's just a name eventually. So we said in a product order, you are talking about the relation between a product and an order, right? A relationship. So you need to know what is the product you are talking about. So you need to know the ID of the product you are talking about here. You also need to know the ID of the order you are talking about. Otherwise, how could this be a relationship? And now it's time to add all those extra stuff. Okay. Now, okay, for the order number 1 and product number 3, how many pieces do you want? How many iPhones? How many laptops do you want? Okay, so public in quantity. Okay. Here you could have, for example, stuff that are regard to discounts. But we will talk about this at a later point. For example, if you ordered more than 10 pieces, then you get a discount, for example, or something. Okay. We will take this exercise at a later point, but let's keep it just in mind. Okay. So that's like the many to many relationship between a product and order. So you need to know what product you are talking about, what is the order you are talking about, and what is the quantity you are talking about. Okay, so far any questions? Okay, did anyone understand anything? Like we used to say just product object or order object. Okay, but now to be like to enhance our design, people in real life actually talk about IDs. Okay, so we are using the ID. Now you will notice that tomorrow Entity Framework will add those things to you. It will add, okay, what is the whole product? What is the whole product object? And what is the whole order object? Okay, so those are very good and will make your life much easier in terms of code, but for storage, you don't store the whole object for each product. You only store what is the ID of it. Because knowing the ID of a product is enough. You can now go to the product table where you stored all your products and find it. Okay? But in your code, it's good idea to have the whole object. So, okay, now I know the product ID, but I want the product name or product description. So I can go to the product object, which is right here, and access them very quickly. Okay, but let's leave those for now, and let's see how we can work without them. Yeah, so product and seller as well. So let's say that we have so many sellers for the same product. So so a seller can sell many products. And the product can sell what? A product can be sold by many sellers. So what's the relation between them, seller and product?
Many to many.
Yeah, it's many to many. Okay, obviously. So we can create that third one, but I can think now. This is a very important thing. If there are no extra stuff, like if let's create that third class, seller product. Okay, so we said we want a piece of seller. Who is the seller, and what is the product? Now, if you don't have any extra stuff, okay, to store, this third class is not needed. Okay, you can have your code without it. But those third classes are usually created when you want extra things. Okay, now if you can think about anything like extra, then this class is just like it's not something mandatory to write. Okay. Now some people say, okay, it's better to write it so it will be ready when you have it. Yeah, it's a good opinion as well. Okay, but if you don't have anything other than the IDs, then it's not necessary to be written. Okay, so seller and product, what do you think could be like extra stuff between the relation of those two classes? Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't think like the yeah. Well, the thing is, as Yushin said, um, even the cost, sometimes the cost of a product is different between sellers. Like one seller will sell it for $100, and another seller will sell it $90. Also, the quantity, but this will make it way harder than what we want for this example. Like it will be really complicated. You know what? I have an idea. Let's remove the seller altogether because I only want one many to many, and I really don't want you to get confused. Okay, so let's forget about the seller. Okay, we will add it like as an enhancement for our code, just to move slowly. Otherwise, things will really get complicated very soon. Okay, now about this design, does it make any sense? Okay, customer, regular stuff, the order status. Okay, if you ever went to online shopping, you need to know what that means. Okay, the order, regular stuff, plus I need to know who is the customer that ordered this order. Now that's mandatory to know. Okay, a category, just an ID and a name. A product, okay, all the usual stuff. Plus, I need to know for sure what is the category of this product. So I need to know the category ID of this product. Product order, this is my relation between product and order, which is many to many, okay? And this is the extra thing I need to know about this relation. Okay, website is my entire database. It's where I have everything. Okay, which is like not a real class. Okay, in the future we will get rid of it. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, now how do I make an order for a customer? First, I need a customer. Okay, or a list of customers. Create few customers. Okay, then okay, let's create an order. An order has an ID, has an order number, has an initial status. Okay, since we have initial status, how about we do this? So when you create an order, let's say I created an order. So in the constructor of order, okay, once you create an order in the like first moment, what is the status?
Placed.
Placed. So I really don't want to like write it every time. So let's just write it in the constructor. So every time you, or maybe you want to do it something else, but I'm thinking of placed or maybe initiated or started or whatever you want. Okay, I think that place is a good thing to when you create an order. Okay, it will be placed. Okay. Yeah, constructor double tab is snippet. Yeah, looks nice. Yeah, it will
Just
write
for the
it.
students that don't know, it makes things easy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so now you created the ID of the customer, the order number. Now you need to know or to say, okay, this order belongs to the customer with the ID, what, number 1, number 2, number 3, okay? And like, imagine this as a drop down list. It will show you all the customers, for example, and you need to check one of them or click one of them to put it as the customer ID for this order. Otherwise, this order will be like totally swimming in the space. Like it won't belong to anyone. Okay. Now, how about we create a product? Product, okay, equals new product. Okay. Or before products, we need to create what? A category equals sorry, category. Let's say electronics equals new category. Okay, so category of electronics is a new category. Electronics.id equals 1. Okay, like this is my first category. Now I created the category. Let's create a product. So product, let's call it, for example, iPhone. This is my product. So product, not product, sorry, we called it iPhone. iPhone.id, like this is the first product in the system. The iPhone dot name equals Apple iPhone, for example. The iPhone dot description is not important. So I have like 200 iPhones in my store. iPhone dot category ID. Okay, what is the category ID? Is the same ID of the electronics. Okay, whatever the ID of the electronics is. Okay, now maybe electronics is 3, 4, 5, the ID, it doesn't matter. I'm saying, okay, the category ID of iPhones is the same as category ID of electronics. Now, we have everything in the system, a customer, a category, a product. Okay, we created an order for Mike. Mike wants 3 iPhones. Okay, how do you populate that? So you need to create an object of the third class. Okay, so product order equals product order, let's call it PO, equals new product order. Okay, now new product order. So product order dot, okay, what is the order you are talking about? Let's call this Mike's order. Okay, so we know for sure it's not any order, it's the order that Mike created for himself. So the order ID of this third table is the same of the ID of Mike's order. Okay, it belongs to this order. The product order dot product ID equals what? Can anyone continue? What is the ID in this?
iPhone.id.
The ID of the iPhones, because Mike wants 3 iPhones. Okay, now this one is also a quantity, like how many iPhones Mike wants in his order? He wants 3, right? Okay. Of course, we are not decreasing the quantity yet. We don't have the code for that. Okay, now that's easy. Now we need to say that, okay, this is the order. And now we should have a function somewhere called place order, or like, do you know the last button you click when you want to buy online. The last one, it
Add a
says
cart.
place order. Yeah, well, we don't really have a cart like this product order, and the orders is actually our cart. Yeah, we are not having a class for cart like for now. Our order is our cart. Okay, so the last button you press before you really pay is place order, and now it will calculate the cost. It will calculate. It will decrease the stock of iPhones, so people now they know. Oh, there's only 197 iPhones left because someone just bought them. Okay, and that's how it goes. So now we need to start writing for example, the code for placing an order, the code for like calculating the amount, calculating the shipping. Okay, changing. Of course, when you sorry, why did it say place? Oh, you know what? Placed is actually not. Is not the first one. Placed is after you click submit. So maybe we can have something like created. Like sometimes people will create an order, but they will not place it. Okay, so I guess this makes more sense. I'm just trying to follow what I know from Amazon. Like you can create an order, but it's not placed until you press pay, right? So placed is not the correct first status. It should be something like created, okay, or started, for example. Okay, so now after you click like submit order, what should happen? So the order status will be changed to what?
Placed.
To placed. The stock of the product that we just bought will be changed to what? To less than the amount, less than the quantity. Okay, less by the quantity. Also, there's a code that we will not be able to write now, like charging your credit card. Okay, like calculating the total cost and charging your credit card. And then in 2 days, you need to notify the shipper or whatever to start shipping, for example. So there are lots of things after you create things. Now you see all of those. Those are just the things that you see in the interface of Amazon. Like you can see your customer profile at the right, right? You can see the order, which is your cart. Okay. You can see the categories. You can see the products. You can create an order and start filling it with items. Like, okay, I need in my first order, I need the product number 4, which is the iPhones, for example, and I need 3 pieces. Then you can put another product. Okay, let's create another product. This one, laptops or Sony laptops. Okay, so we are not talking about any laptop here. Okay, it's a new product. So Sony laptop.id equals to Sony laptop.category equals the same category of electronics. We have like only 50 laptops in this store. Yeah, and yeah, let's say the name is not important, or yeah, I don't want to be asked why we don't have a name here. Okay, this. Okay, so now Mike just added 3 iPhones to his order, but he's not finished yet. He wants another one. He wants to create another product order. So he wants product order dot. It's the same order, right? So it's the same first order of Mike. So we are still talking about the same order ID. But is it the same product now? What should I write here? Like he wants one laptop. What should I write here? Sony laptops.id. Like now he's choosing another product. And sorry, this one. Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure why I'm not looking at the code at all actually. Okay, so this is the number 1 in your order, this is number 2. So secondly, same Mike, same order. He wants another laptop and the quantity is like only 1. So both of those are like the order of Mike. But like he in the same order, he has so many products. And each time the quantity is different. That's why we needed that third class. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to represent it. Okay.
Hey, Mohammed.
Yep.
The way you have it right now, though, wouldn't PO2 and PO1 have the same order ID? Or is that what
sorry?
you wanted?
Which one?
PO1 and PO2, your 2 product orders, they'll have the same order
Well,
ID. Okay?
yeah, well, usually in the third class, sometimes people would write an ID for the third class. Well, this third class doesn't even have an ID. The ID of the third class is actually the combination of those 2. Like for the product number 1 and order number 1, this is the ID of this class, like the combination of both, because it can't be repeated. Now imagine that like imagine Mike now decided that he wants another iPhone. Do you create O for that, or do you increase the quantity?
No, create another.
No, why? Like he
increase the quantity.
didn't submit the order. The order is still he's
Okay,
still
yeah.
filling.
Because you said
Yeah,
this
you
was
can modify.
created and not placed, right?
Yeah. So why? So how did you know that you should increase the quantity and not create another one? Because you found that, oh, it's the same order, it's the same product. So you were able to identify the product order by the combination of order ID and product ID. So once you find that, oh, this guy is adding the same product to the same order, should I create a new product order for him, or should I use the one that I already have? Okay, so the combination of both is actually how you identify product orders. Yeah, actually, naming this order product would make more sense in English, I guess. Yeah, like the products of an order. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, I didn't do anything, just change the name to be like more meaningful. Okay, so when you find that the same person adding more of the same product in the same order, then you don't have to create another one of those. You just use it the same and increase or decrease the quantity depending on what the customer wants. Okay, now we will stop right here, and all what I need you to do is to focus on this design. Okay, let's forget a bit about students and institutes and courses, and let's start like a brand new example with this one. This one has an enum. Okay, so you have now an example of enums. You don't need the previous code. Okay, and try to repeat the code, or at least to read it and see if it's making sense. Okay, or if there's like any problem that you can find. Okay, and see like, is this enough to represent everything? Is this enough to calculate the cost of an order, to calculate the like all what I need to know? the number of orders in my system or whatever. Okay. Yeah, in this one we also need a list of order products. This is also a table in our database. Okay. And now we have everything stored in the website class. Okay, so it requires to be studied again. Okay, so let's please do that. And tomorrow we can review it one more time, and then we will start writing code and algorithms to make our system functional. For now, we only have the design. Okay, we don't have any algorithms, anything. Okay, any question? Well, this is either very good or very bad. So I don't know. Okay.
What are we working on then from here?
Well, it's 1:30, so we won't be doing anything.
Okay, so there's no
Oh,
homework.
yeah. Well, yeah, we will be working on this from now on. Okay. So it's good if you have your own design, that's fine. But for tomorrow, for example, let's all start with the code that I will send now. And so everyone will be on the same page.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Excellent.
You're welcome. So, Willie, is this similar to what you are used to?
Yeah, that's similar.
Yeah.
But
similar.
I have many to many in seller and product.
Yeah. Well, this is
delete
correct.
product,
Yeah.
sell it in this case. And
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a different.
No, seller and product is main to many, but it will make it more complicated. I don't want to go this far for now. But
Yeah.
you are totally right. And
But
it's
okay,
better.
similar.
It's better to move the cost. You see, the cost of a product is different between sellers. You know,
Yeah,
so it's better to
that's
move it there. Even the
that's more
stock.
complicated.
Yeah, even the stock, even the cost. But now it's a bit more complicated.
No, but this example for our level now is okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Please make sure to attend the lab. Okay. And if you have any question, feel free to ask.